Welcome to the virtual open day for the BSc Social Sciences in the Department of Social Science at UCL. My name is Dr. Katie Kwai. I am a lecturer in psychology in the department and I'm also the admissions tutor. So I'm going to be talking to you a bit today about the programme that we offer, a little bit about the teaching and the kind of content available, and also I'll talk you through the admissions process and the kinds of applications that we're looking for on the programme. So I'm going to turn off the camera now for a little while and take you through the slides, and then I'll be back at the end. I'll also be available in the virtual chat room after the presentation to answer any questions that you might have. Okay, so the BSc Social Sciences is a fairly new degree in the programme. It's designed to fill a historic gap in UCL undergraduate provision for a broad-based interdisciplinary social sciences degree. So far, it's been a really attractive degree. On average, we receive more than 10 applications per place each year from a very strong field of applicants from all kinds of backgrounds as well. And we have an intake of approximately 60 students every year. So the BSc Social Sciences is a global social sciences degree with a global student body. Our most recent cohort came from about 17 or 18 different countries. It's an interdisciplinary degree, and that's a really key point for us. Our students study core modules in sociology and psychology, plus at least one other social science discipline through the options choices that they make. The programme also provides rigorous qualitative and quantitative research methods training. These are really important tools for social sciences graduates. They provide transferable skills and a way of consolidating the more theoretical learning that we do. Research methods are also key in translating theory to life. For example, they help us to take big chunks of data and break them down into meaningful messages and to understand and interpret complex data and evidence. Throughout our degree, our students explore the relationship between the individual and society. They learn to understand complex global issues, including social justice issues, in an interconnected world. Embedded in this kind of independent learning ethos is that our students are social sciences in their own right. They'll be developing skills to carry out independent inquiry. It's not just about being lectured at or learning what the right answers are. We really want to train our students to become social scientists in their own right. And in this way, it's a programme that actually reflects UCL as a whole and their ethos and history. UCL was founded on the premise of providing access to higher education for all, regardless of religion or class or gender. And it was the very first English university to offer degrees to women and to admit students of all faiths. One of the really great things about being based at UCL is that we're in the middle of London. It's a global multicultural city, and we use the city as our lab to investigate and to understand some of the big issues facing societies today. Things like inequality, gentrification, changes in the labour market and how family life and gender relations are changing, poverty, ethnicity, identities, and the big questions about belonging, migration and diversity. So that way your learning is anchored in issues that are part of the real world. So for example, I'm currently conducting some research on work and care in families in the Tower Hamlets area of central South London. And this is a really super diverse area that I'm familiar with, and it's undergoing urban renewal and gentrification processes as well. So there's a lot of things changing about life in that area, particularly for families. At the same time, we also have a broader global outlook. So we compare and contrast and encourage our international group of students to draw on examples from their own home countries as well. So how is the degree actually structured? Every year, there's a mix of core or compulsory modules and options. As you progress throughout the degree, the number of compulsory modules decreases and the number of options available increases. So the idea behind this is to allow you to tailor the programme to your developing interests and to give you the freedom to kind of forge your own pathway. And in your final year, you undertake your dissertation, which is an independent piece of research, and you carry that out with an individual supervisor. These next slides show the available module groups. So, for example, the first cluster includes modules in politics, in sociology, in social policy, psychology, and economics. And these clusters are complemented by the core modules. So, for example, in this sociology and politics section here, understanding social policy is one of our core modules. Social theory is another one, and the others like migration, politics, and power, conflict, and collective action are some of the options modules in these areas. The next cluster includes modules in anthropology, the life course, ethnography, health, and inequalities. And the third includes modules in areas such as migration, diversity, labour, and international development. And if anyone is interested in having a look at these slides a little bit more closely, I'd be happy to send them to you after the talk, or our marketing team might be able to make them available as well. And the next cluster has our modules in the area of the life course and also health. So things like public health in context, food and society, and health and well-being. Our students also have the opportunity to study abroad while undertaking this degree. So that's 1 year between second and third year. So students who take up this option spend a full year abroad in a social sciences or equivalent department at one of our partner universities. So you enrol on the degree as normal. You don't have to apply for a separate degree. And then in year 2, you can choose to apply for the study abroad programme. And you don't pay any tuition fees to the host institution, and you pay reduced tuition for that year at UCL. So I'll now talk a little bit about teaching and assessment on the programme. We use a range of teaching methods in the department, including things like lectures. These are interactive, and they include things like paired discussions and group activities, as well as the more traditional kind of walk and talk approach. We use small group seminars, and these include about 15 students per group. These are based around discussion, more practical exercises that are difficult in larger groups, and presentations. And the idea behind these is to consolidate some of the theoretical learning that you do in lectures. And we also have practical computer-based workshops and different exercises and outbound visits to kind of consolidate some of the theoretical learning. And we do a lot of film viewings and things like that as well. So the thing to remember here is that studying at university is quite different from school or college, and you're expected to undertake a lot more independent study and learning. Students are both expected and encouraged to be engaged in active learning and be engaged as partners in their own learning. It's not about, as I said before, just being lectured at. We also try to create assessments that constitute public engagement. So things like oral presentations, posters, and things like that, again, providing strong transferable skills. Assessment, of course, is a key area of the programme, and the methods are designed to help students develop a range of transferable skills. They're not just about testing you. We're trying to build some of the learning that we've been doing in seminars and lectures. And assessments include things like essays, reports, blogs and reviews, exams, presentations, briefing papers, and of course, in final year, your dissertation. A key focus of the programme is on developing skills in independent learning. One of the ways that we do this is through student research projects. We begin with small independent research assignments in your first years, and students also have the opportunity to engage with our voluntary research assistant scheme, where you'll work with staff in the department on research that they're undertaking during the summer terms. And your research skill development culminates in your dissertation project in your final year. This is your chance to pursue your passion in social science research and to explore problems or issues that are close to your heart. And finally, our students have the opportunity to take part in the UCL Global Citizenship Programme. The concept of global citizenship is debated and it's continually evolving, particularly obviously in the current climate, but this is our working definition at the moment. It's not about being insular. It's about accepting that our actions have consequences beyond our immediate sphere. Things like something as simple as buying a t-shirt from Primark, which is made in a factory in Bangladesh. Are we supporting poor working conditions by doing this? It's also about accepting that there'll be lots of competing interests, lots of different choices and myriad ways for individuals and groups to intervene. And finally, we cannot be isolated in action. We need to develop partnership and coalitions. So what is education for global citizenship? It's our way of describing the education we provide at UCL. It's what we think makes us unique, given our position as London's global university. Everything we do at UCL is part of this vision. And the Global Citizenship Programme is a way to bring all of the different strands of this education together and to start practicing what you've been learning. And you can benefit from across your 3 years of study. It's a really good opportunity to meet new people, to see the world in a different way, to come across students from other programs that you might not interact with on a day-to-day basis. And you can also improve your CV and boost your skills, which are useful for both academic and professional careers. It runs throughout the year. And it includes workshops, weekend sessions and summer school. And you'll explore real world issues through small group project work. And this is just a quote from one of our students that took part. It definitely counts as one of the best things I've done the entire year. So now I'm going to talk you through the admissions process for the programme. So the nuts and bolts, first of all. For 2021, the admissions criteria will be A-level or equivalent at the AAA level. We don't require any specific subjects. And in practice, this means that anyone with AAA predicted grades is eligible to apply, but we use the full application, so grades, personal statement and references to make the decision. GCSE requirements are English language and maths at grade B, and for UK-based students, we also require a grade C or equivalent in a foreign language other than ancient Greek, biblical Hebrew or Latin. But if you don't meet this requirement, UCL also provides opportunities to meet the foreign language requirement following enrolment. And you can find out some more details on the UCL website. And you can also find out more and check details for equivalent qualifications on the programme webpage. And there's some details there. And if you have any specific questions about this, you can contact our colleagues in admissions at undergraduateadmissions@ucl.ac.uk, or you can contact me directly at k.quai@ucl.ac.uk. The English language level for the programme is good, and UCL accepts a number of tests to evidence this, including IELTS and TEFL, and you can find more details and the other accepted qualifications on the website, and there's a link here in the slides. So what kinds of students are we looking for? Your personal statement is your opportunity to tell us why you want to pursue this programme and what you have done to demonstrate that you'd be a really great fit and that you'd progress really well on the programme. And the kinds of personal statements that are judged to be strong clearly demonstrate your understanding of key things like the multidisciplinary nature of the degree. For example, we don't just want to hear about one social science that you're interested in. We want to understand how you see social sciences fitting together to tell the whole kind of story. For example, you might choose to discuss an individual versus societal perspective on a particular issue that's close to your heart. We're also looking for you to explain your interest in social science and to provide clear evidence of this. So this could be something like discussing a book or an article that you've read, lectures that you might have attended, or particular issues that you've thought about in relation to social science. For example, it could be something like gender, inequalities, generational relationships, demographic changes, and so on. So here's just one example of an excerpt from a successful personal statement that's managed to do that. They've mentioned the kinds of issues like oppression and religious conflict that they're interested in, and then talked about the kinds of evidence that they've looked at to think a bit more deeply about this from different perspectives. So the amazing staff that we have here and the research that they do are key strengths of our department. Our staff work across a range of disciplines, including sociology, psychology, economics, anthropology, social policy. And all of our teaching staff are also research active as well. So we're all engaged in our own research and research together as well. And we take that research with us into the classroom. Our research is also highly rated. It's graded world leading or internationally excellent, and it has real world impact as well on government policy, expert testimony and advice to NGOs and other bodies. And lots of our staff frequently appear in the media talking about the research they've done and the impact that it's had. We're also aware that coming to university for this first time can be quite daunting. And as a university and as a department, we try to ensure that our students feel supported and have access to the support that they might need. So firstly, each student has a personal tutor who will support you across your degree, and they look after you in terms of things like academic issues you might be experiencing, trying to select the right modules for you, and also pastoral care. And because you have the same personal tutor across your degree, they provide a point of continuity throughout your studies. And you'll meet with them at least once a term, either as an individual or in small groups with other students. And you can also contact them by email or during office hours if you have particular issues that come up during your studies. You also meet transition mentors in year one. This is a really important UCL-wide scheme whereby second and third year students from the programme look after and meet regularly with a group of first years to provide student mentoring. And this is everything from academics to getting you started on the social aspect of university. And there are also a wide range of UCL student support services, so careers, volunteering, wellbeing and psychological support, disability services, and the UCL Student Union. And there are also loads of opportunities to enhance your studies and your experience as a student by getting involved in the university community through clubs and societies, and through writing for our student journal. We have one in the department called The Lens, set up for our students, and by volunteering. And now you might be interested in finding out a little bit more about what you can do with your degree. And we are a relatively young degree, so we can't tell you a huge amount about the careers trajectories of our graduates, because our most recent cohort was our very first graduation cohort. We're coming into the fourth year of our programme. So our most recent graduates have gone on to work and study in a range of fields. They include postgraduate study at UCL, Oxford, Cambridge and the LSE, internships in law firms and government departments, and some others have taken up graduate jobs in consultancy firms, not-for-profit organisations and journalism. And all of our students are asked to join our LinkedIn group as well, so they can all keep track of where everyone is and create a kind of an alumni network as well. More generally, and this is a picture from our first graduation as well, that's staff rather than students if you're wondering about the grey beards. More generally, a British Council study from 2015 showed that a social science degree and international study or work experience are the two most commonly shared characteristics of professional leaders from around the world. And employment prospects are very good for social science graduates. 9 in 10 are working or continuing studies, or both, 1 year after graduation, and about 2/3 are employed 1 year after graduation. So some of the potential jobs will make overt use of your social science knowledge, but many others will depend on the skills in analysis, interpretation, writing, and so on that social sciences helps impart. And finally, as a university, we're continually developing our facilities for students. Transforming UCL is the largest capital programme in the university's history, supporting UCL's growth as we continue to build now and for the future. UCL are investing over 1.25 billion over 10 years, refurbishing and developing buildings, promoting new world-class buildings, things like the Student Centre that opened last year. And construction is also underway on the new campus, UCL East, in the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. And it's envisaged as a radical new model for how a university campus can be embedded in the community. On a more local level, within the faculty, we've spent the last 2 years revamping our teaching and social spaces, including study areas, new lecture halls, new seminar rooms, and a new bar and canteen. UCL as an institution is connected across the globe. Our alumni community has over 250,000 members in 190 countries worldwide. And our collaborations also reach across the world. We've got anchor partnerships with Peking University, the University of Toronto, and UCL shares interests and expertise with these institutions in solving world issues. And many of our students also explore the world in their studies. About a third of our students undertake a period of study abroad while with us. We're also very international as a group. 35% of UCL staff and 48% of our student body is international. Okay. So that's all from me. Thank you very much for listening. We're now going to move to the virtual chat room where you can log in. There should be a link available and you can write any of the questions that you might have and I will do my best to either answer them or direct you to the right source of information. Okay, thank you very much.